If you clicked on this video, there's no accidents here. Trust that that click means that there is something in here for you. There is always something in here when we are channeling and we have the highest intention to uplift one another. And we are here to serve God. And who is God? You are a part of God. I am a part of God. Everyone is a part of God. There is this spark within each one of us. But what keeps that spark alive is what differentiates people from each other. Of course, everyone is unique. That spark is unique. And that spark can be just a potential, or it can be more growth, more potential, let's say. Because that spark can be, the spark can be, I'm a little bit distracted because there are some people there. So this is a practice for us in keeping, this is great, because it's practice to channel and doing our thing regardless of what's happening around us. So each and every person, yeah, this is where closing the eyes is a little bit better. We're fine-tuning. So each spark is unique in each individual. And also each filtering system that is filtering through that light is infinitely creative as you are creative. And so each person has more sort of things to work on than others. And this is the difference between an old soul and a young soul, or an advanced soul versus someone that has still some work to do when it comes to manifestation of that light through the body. And that light is your soul. That light is all of your passions and aspirations coming through and being expressed through the body. And so there is some practice when you have gone through traumatic events, and when you are unraveling that into becoming more. And when you are focusing on bringing through the light more, it doesn't come from the going around and doing whatever. There is a particular flavor of the spark of light that is basically the bounce back between you and Gaia. And so you are the one that is filtering that spark of light. And what is that spark of light? It's electricity, vitality, more passion for life, desires. There are a lot of things that the human body may have had experiences, and so it's needed with more healing, being in environments like this and just truly sinking into trust, feeling that yes, there are good people here looking after our body's well-being. That's wonderful, you know, that's beautiful. That is being connected through the heart That just means that the body and the it takes a little bit to not get distracted when there is like things on the body, sounds, other things, other energies. That is definitely, it's different when it's just a camera, you see? It takes some practice for us to sink into that trust, you know? And these are also outside forces, outside energies that are not harmonious to this flow, right? It's interference. That's what it is. Because it's something else having another agenda than what we care for, right? Regardless if it's a tiny little bug, different agenda than what we have agreed to. So, let's see if we can get back into it there. It's all practice. It's all practice. You're doing great. This is all practice to learn how to trust this higher light, because this higher light has not been safe to just exude without interferences. And so in order for us to open up to that light again, we have to go through certain, you call them lessons. These are just simply the body's unraveling to open up. And that can look sometimes a little dramatic, because it might be something that you are not completely in alignment conceptually with how things are. That sort of needs to shift for there to be more energy flowing through your system. And that's the purpose. That's the purpose of this experience, or let's say the next level of experience for the beings that are ready for that. This is not for just everyone. These teachings can be very useful for beings that have slipped off and want to get back on track, but also the beings that are highly spiritual and wants to get into really good balance with themselves, so that they can finally open up these vessels and commune with higher intelligence, instead of operating the way that humanity has operated up until not too long ago. And most of humanity are still operating in duality. The thing now is that you have a choice to break out of that. You have a choice of breaking out of that. And these are old mold. We know that many of you yeah, it's good if we can just switch. It's okay. It's just practice. Oh, yeah, they itch more than mosquitoes, and yeah. All right, let's see if we can get back here. This is a perfect demonstration of this balance. It is, tending to the body. Okay, let's get back to trust, because there are things that needs to be maintained in this physical environment. And that is part of it, because this plane is very dense. It's more dense than it's more dense than the higher intelligence. It is a denser frequency, and so that is shown by interferences like this when you bring in higher frequency, because some lower frequency, they don't understand what higher frequency is. They're just drawn to it. They don't know why, but they're just drawn to it. And sometimes it is like that. Some really lower beings, they just don't, it's just pure energetic. Like a moth is drawn to a flame. Pure light. You are drawn towards light. Every being is drawn towards light. And that's just the way that it is. That's the way that this functions, this whole system. And so what we are practicing every day is to, well, channeling. We are practicing things that propel our human body forward in consciousness. And so whatever propels us to expand more, to grow into more of who we are. And we have found channeling to be very useful, and not so useful if you haven't, if you have disturbances. But you have to be very good at catching what disturbances are and basically moving out of them, because that's the this is the protector. This is the nature of the what people call masculine, but it's more of just a protector role. And it's important that we all embody the fullness of who we are. This is also important, the protector of the body. That is an important aspect of a human being. And that is just healthy, to develop your knower to such an extent that you know how to look after your body, which is the feeler, the one that feels. We are meant to be in connection with our own stream of consciousness. And once we are once we have practiced enough, this is a sign that we are shining bright. Right? It is that. And that can also grow even stronger, so that there is a force. There is a lot of things that is possible when you are when you're opening up your energy faculties and you feel safe enough to do so. Because it is a thing. Many men have just been taught to be men and to be a certain way. And it's not okay to be sensitive, show feelings. That is seen as a little bit of a wuss, or, who knows what the judgment is. But it's not just about following the feeling either. because that can be led by twisted perception if you're just going downhill. But it's about knowing yourself, knowing what you have been through, knowing what you need, truly listening to your body, truly listening to what your body needs, the care that it needs. Sometimes it doesn't feel like just working. Sometimes it just feels like doing different things. And it's important to listen, actually. If you want to have a balanced life, it's important to listen to your body. And sometimes you might not want to do things for quite some time. And just sometimes it can be good to sort of usher the body a little bit. Okay, let's just do a tiny bit, like have a to-do list and start to get good at just putting something there and ticking it off. Because once you have ticked it off, whether it's on your phone or a physical check, it's the perfect way to train the body and to get some, someone is coming for me. We're getting coconut. All right, we're gonna cut it off there because now we're getting coconut. So we'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao.